Before I went to bed on Sunday night, I'd seen like one person on Facebook share something about the Santa Rosa fire, and I was like, wow, that's super weird to see my hometown like on a news headline. At 3, my older sister called me on the phone, and I thought it was my alarm for the morning, and I answered it, and she basically said, there's a fire. Is there anything you want me to grab from your room if we have to leave and evacuate? I've heard my sister cry a lot in my like 20 odd years, but I've never heard her cry like that. Like, it was the most heartbreaking sound ever. My mom and dad own a restaurant. They've had it for almost 30 years in right in the middle of Santa Rosa. Every day for the first week or so, they basically opened their doors starting Monday morning. My mom went in at like 5 a.m. and they opened their doors and just kind of fed anyone. It was probably the hardest experience of my life.
Our house is still standing. We were allowed to go back last week, fortunately, but the last, 10 straight days I was just in anxiousness. Like, there's nothing I can do from here, really. I feel powerless. Like, I feel like there's nothing I could do in a sense, except for checking with my family as much as I could and make sure everybody was okay. My parents have been putting on like this really strong front, I think because they don't want my sister, I have a twin sister, so I don't think they wanted my sister and I to worry, because we're both in Southern California. But my dad has been coping with it by running around and trying to help everybody he can. And my mom has been coping with it just by I think being strong and kind of keeping it all together and just like being, it's okay, we're fine. But I've talked to her a couple times and she's been scared, like very, very scared.
What did get affected by the Tubbs fire was my old high school, which most of the administrative buildings, the portables where we had classrooms, are all burnt to the ground. The gym survived, but it's just crazy to think about all of the memories at high school back there. Knowing the home that I used to hike through the state parks in, and the people I used to know being affected by this, and there's absolutely nothing I can do. It's absolutely terrifying. What we picture, there's hurricanes, there's all the different natural disasters that are just as important. But when it's those, you don't lose absolutely everything like fire. After those things, you can go and maybe find clothes and whatever, but a fire is literally everything. Your house is rubble and a pile of smoldering dirt. I'd ask anyone to picture everything they have at home and try and list everything they take in 5 minutes. And I don't think anyone could, because like, how could you list everything you have that you want to grab from memories in 5 minutes? But people had to.
The wildfires in Santa Rosa actually burned down the summer camp that I went to for many years. It's hard to be so far away from everyone because our camp community is thousands of people, and people all over the world, people in Israel, people all over the country. And just the weekends I spent there were so magical. I mean, everyone talks about the magic of camp. It's such a beautiful place. It's so special. The community is just so strong. It's such a tight-knit community, but they accept everyone. And just like so many amazing memories, hiking up to the Star, which actually did survive the fires. It was up on the top of a mountain. It's like this big wooden star that basically just looks over the whole camp, keeps it safe. The things that survived were the Star, a shed full of talits, prayer shawls, and kippas that we use for services, and then part of the Beit Tefillah, which is like the area where we have services. But those 3 things are the only things that survived the fire, which actually those are 3 of the most important things. So it's kind of shed a light on the whole situation. Like, these are the things that symbolize like our faith. And so that's really been nice to have that.
The fire didn't affect me personally. My family's homes are okay, my family's okay. A lot of things are gonna change. The whole landscape is going to change, the environment has changed already, but I think something that is overlooked is that the whole city's makeup is going to change, because there are people who are undocumented, people who are at or below the poverty line that aren't going to, I don't see them being able to rebuild. I think that what I would tell people at LMU is that there are a lot of things that we probably haven't heard about, and there's a lot of people that need help that don't necessarily get the publicity that they need. And so if there's any way that you can reach out, find ways to help them, that's, I think, is what is the best thing to do right now.